getting close to time. We're going to be digging the basement, so we've got to get the outline of the excavation area laid out here on the ground.
All right, I want to talk to you a little bit about laying out the house and where we're at in the process. I've already done a basic layout with measurements on the footprint of the foundation. I did that before I took off the topsoil here as best as I can with the backhoe. But right now what I want to do is get a really precise, as much as I can, a precise layout on the house, the footprint of the foundation that's going to be dug. And when you do that, you really look at your foundation plan. What I have to do is find a basic shape in the plan where it's 4 square corners, and I can lay out that shape and use diagonal measurements, which I'll show you here in a minute, and get that perfectly parallel with perfectly the correct dimensions and perfectly square. Once I have that, it's going to make it a lot easier to take measurements off of that perfectly square outline to find all of the rest of the corners. Then I can draw out on the ground the outline of the excavation footprint, which is going to be larger, 3.5 or 4 feet larger around. And I can lay that out because I want to have that ready to go as soon as we get an excavator in here. We're going to start digging. So let me kind of show you how that works.
Okay, so what we're doing here, we're going to have 2 parallel lines for that rectangle, and the principle is that a measurement from one corner to the other is the diagonal, and those, in theory, because of math, will be the same. And we'll get more in depth in that when we're after the basement is dug, and we're going to lay out the corners for the footers, and we'll use a whole lot of diagonal measurements to find those corners.
So now what we've done is we have transferred that perfectly square rectangle from the plans to the ground in real dimensions. So if this is all done correctly, which my diagonal measurements on this were within 1/8 of an inch at the end. I mean, that's really, really good, especially at this stage where it doesn't have to be precisely perfect. Where it has to be precisely perfect is where you're laying out your pins for the corners of the house in your footers. We do that after we dig. That's really going to be where it's extremely important to get all the corners of your house laid out precisely. Now, one way that you can double check these corners to make sure that they are indeed 90 degrees, because this actually is an exterior wall where this corner is. So I want to check this one, and there's a few more. The way to double check that is just with math, the stuff you learned in middle school. The 3, 4, 5 method will show if it's truly at 90 degrees. On a bigger scale, we would rather use 6, 8, and 10. So let me show you how this would work out. We're going to measure over 6 feet. I got these flags here, and right at the string I'm going to mark 6 feet. And then over here do the same thing. We're going to measure out 8 feet. Okay, right on the string, measure out 8 feet. And then if I can hook my tape on this flag, the distance to the other flag should be exactly 10 feet. If this is a true 90-degree corner, and it is right on the money. That is a perfect 90-degree corner. Again, this one's an exterior wall, true exterior wall. A few other spots on this rectangle are just for reference, but this is truly one. We got 2 corners over there that are true exterior walls. I'm going to check them this way. 6, 8, and 10, or any multiples of 3, 4, 5 will tell you if you've got a true 90-degree corner.